feel like everyone in this table is somehow making an impact, giving back, and changing the world in a way. So that's the first thing I would like to discuss.
Right.
How do you think we can change the world?
Just go for it. Right. You know, the doors open up. It was amazing, all the doors that opened up for autism acceptance. I mean, and these kiddos are just giving me the best hugs ever.
Hey, what can I do as one person? But actually like minimizing your efforts and like bringing it down to one person and concentrating on the small moments and the importance of like giving time to one another. I think that's kind of how I found changed my world. And then that kind of ripples from there.
Your perception of the world is your world. And so as you come to do that, you're able to change that one world for someone else and then change the world for more folks.
Think about that Michael Jackson song, you know, Man in the Mirror. Oh. Like if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change, right? Yeah.
What do you think is the key to find that type of genuine love to someone that you just met?
Being able to access that part of myself on a daily basis, like, okay, it's not going to look the same always, it's not going to be this very affectionate love every time, every person you meet each day, but like being able to use that as your filter to make decisions sometimes or to meet people. I think that's kind of what I've learned how to do, is using that as a default that I go back to.
An example I often think about is like the earth and the sun, and how the sun loves the earth from a distance, so it's not too close that it fries everything, but it's not far enough away that we freeze all the time.
Like every day you need to wake up and decide that you're gonna love.
So when we think of love as an action or as a behavior, as opposed to a feeling.
Right. Love means, what if that's the first smile they got that day?
And if you can imagine your life without someone loving in your life, that's the reason. Do you know what I mean?
We don't think to act, we act to think. Because you can think about something forever, but you won't do it. But once you do it, you start feeling it here. And it's a nonprofit that focuses on bridges. So we work in low-income, under-resourced communities, and we serve as interventionists and mentors. So like there are days that you don't want to wake up, you don't want to do anything. Yeah. And even if they weren't waiting for you, seeing them is what made it even better. And so at the end of the day, you're always tired, but it feels amazing and you're ready to do it again. Even though your brain is never ready, but your heart is always ready to do it. The whole universe will shift to allow that to be what it is, especially if it's something that serves other people. And it's like
your story for me is the idea that you didn't know anything about autism, or you hadn't had any contact with that before.
Goodness, I'll just have an autistic equipment room built inside the Y without anybody asking or telling me I couldn't. I wrote you this note and you said yes.
I feel awesome about it, to be honest, because it resonates with my own heart. And I just think, you know, I look at the ability we have to impact communities. I mentioned earlier, leveraging the market partners we have. And my big thing is, you know, last December, 1 week, 126 communities across North America had people doing something.
I felt like the cowardly lion trying to get up there, you know, it's like, I'm not going, I'm not going. And Dad's like, yes, you can do it. Got finished and they all applauded us and they said, we sound like that book, the Yes Book. There was no no's in our book.
Wow.
If you dropped a piece of sand every day at the end of the tank, like a long time, you'd have a whole dune. So.
The listening to people, I can't get enough of people. I can't get enough of going out and hearing about the people that I meet and hearing stories. And I think that's, like, we're all after that. We're all after, whether we go home and watch Netflix or whether we're reading a book or whatever we're doing, like we're super interested in other people's stories, and that's what I get when I go out and do this.
It was done, but for the joy of actually doing them, and to me that's the most exciting actually.
The good feelings, I really mean that. Like actually, sometimes when I get off a day of working on the street and giving loads of haircuts to people, I'm high. Like I'm getting a natural high, and it's a chemical thing. It really is. You know, it's a massive amount of serotonin. And
I've never really thought of myself as a role model or thought of myself as a mentor, because I always think, you know, we're all here learning. So who am I to then say I can lead someone else?
What would you recommend if people want to create action?
You could help.
Right.
You could help. I mean, if you don't want to do autism, do something else, but do something.
When you look at something, what resonates, what makes you sweat, what makes you hurt, what makes you excited, like that kind of.
Hit me until you walked on stage at MONAT in Houston.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, maybe it's things you're skilled at.
Right.
Write down those 3 things, and then next to that, parallel, write down 3 things. Maybe it's individuals or groups of people that you see in your community that you want to help.
Okay.
And once you get those lists next to each other, then I really think there's going to be a way that you can join those dots. And that takes some thought, and it maybe takes some research in your area. That's very hard to apply to, like, everyone's community is different, but I think it's really important to, like, get those out of you, put it down on paper. And I think before long you'll realize that you can use what you love doing to go out and be able to help somebody if you want to. And I think if you do that, it's not really charity anymore, you know. It's not.
Right.
It's something you enjoy.
Right.
Volunteering your time really, like, changes when you do what you love to go out and do that.
I believe so much in this, in the power of unity, in the power of, because for me that's community. That's people together for the sake of the same purpose.
Exactly.
So I really enjoyed this, and
Okay.
cheers to
It's
that.
great to meet you guys.
Love you too.
I love you all.
I love
I feel like I love
I love you more.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Susan. You just made me think of something important.
Okay.
Like I wanna end up this with the same question that I like to usually ask is like, if all your prayers were answered, will it change your world? Just your world or the world?